Yo, what's going on, everybody? We are back. We're back here on Pokemon Showdown. Not playing. As you can see, we're not on Pokemon Showdown today. We're gonna be on Twitter today, actually, talking about the usage stats that just dropped today for April. Smogon just released the usage stats, as you can see here, and I also have March pulled up as well, just to kind of compare. As you can see, the very drastic difference. Um, with the usage of March compared to April. Besides top five, everything has changed. Like a lot has changed, in my opinion, at least. So yeah, let's just get right into it, man. Let's just start off with the first top five. I'm gonna breeze through the top five just because it's pretty much the same besides Toad, but we'll get into that later. But let's start off with Clef here, 41%. But as you can see, it's the same as March, but they corrected it on Twitter, and it actually was supposed to be 45%. So this is the number you're seeing here is supposed to be 45, which is even more than March. So that's kind of crazy, almost half. So you'll see it on every other team, which is kind of insane. But I feel like we all know about this mon already. It's like, what else is there to say? It's like Wish Teleport. I will say though that a lot of other sets are kind of making a comeback, I guess. Like let's say like Life Orb. I've seen Life Orb a lot. Offensive Clef as well. And just like other utility moves like Aromatherapy as well are very viable on it, more than ever now. So yeah, Clef is only beginning to rise up in usage. So that's all the news with Clef. I feel like there's not really much to say about this. It's been number one for the longest time, I feel like. So yeah. Now let's just get into number two, which is Korbinite. Now, as you can see, it's a very big drop off percentage wise. See 41 or 45% up here, and then it drops all the way down to 28, which is kind of insane. Like the numbers, like everything kind of go what's it called, falls around the same range in terms of percentage, but Clef is the only one that's like massively at such a level. But we'll talk about Corviknight here. Same with Clef. I feel like it's kind of redundant, like a lot of these mons are. um what sets, like honestly, its best set is just, I feel like its best role is the defogger, just a standard defogger wall. Like I said, it could be specially defensive, defensively. Like really, it's not really nothing too crazy with this mon. Uh, it's just very good as a wall, utility wise. Offensively, has some great moves, as we already know with body press and stuff like that. Um, like if you really want to go crazy, I mean, you can even do that bulk up agility power chip. I messed around with that for a minute, but that's too crazy, man. I couldn't handle that, honestly. Like, but as far as I know, it's just the defog set is just very standard. Everyone already knows. So yeah, let's compare it to, yeah, to March. 34%, and it dropped down to 28. So, and you'll see a common pattern with these mons, how they just keep dropping in usage, not by a lot, but um, as other checks surface, the percentage will drop for sure. So yeah, let's just move on to Drago Pole. I kind of want to breeze through this. Drago Pole, I'm a big fan of this still. Obviously, it dropped like the rest of the mons. Um, well, just like Korbinite. But yeah, it's a lot of variety on the sets. I must say, like everyone knows the Scarf spec set or whatever, but I've been really liking um, the DD physical Dragapult set, and Wisp Hex is just like very very like unique in a sense. Fills a really great role, and it's like kind of a lure lead, if you will, or just a lure Pokemon. Like a lot of people expect the Scarf set, so like why not play around that and make it another set. So yeah, I just think Dragapult's very another valuable mon, deserving to be top five as well. So next mon, we got Seismitoad. Now, this is the only thing that's changed. Well, not the only thing. A lot of stuff changed, obviously, but this is like a big change, right? Because as you can see on here, Seismitoad was 11, not even breaking top 10. So like, that's just crazy. It jumped so far, even past Zero Aura, which is insane. So yeah, Seismitoad, I feel like the main sorry, the main thing about this mon is the ability, of course, to water absorb, as well as the plethora of moves it gets. As you guys can pretty much assess for yourselves. Like obviously we got the toxic stealth rocks, two attacks, dual stab, but it can be physical. You can play it on rain as well. You can tech grass knot or power whip against other toads. It gets a lot of stuff. It gets knockoff as well. Um, just a great mon all around, and really balanced stats. Not anything too crazy. Just a really high HP stat, so you can get a lot of natural bulk from it. And you can really tech it out whatever you want it to. But its main purpose is for Dracovish 100%. Like it really sucks because when I build teams, it's like I always think about this thing. Like it's always on my mind. Do I need another water absorb, or does Dracovish just run through my team like always? You know. So yeah, like usually on my teams, I usually like will have a toad for sure. Like if I look through my teams right now, I'll definitely have like maybe 80% toad, or I don't know, maybe. That's kind of a like a random number to throw out, but I just say most of my teams do have toad on it. So yeah, great mon, great. I feel like it's gonna be up here as long as Dracovish still roams around. So definitely you'll see more of toad, and as you can see, it's just rising up. So yeah. So number 5 we have Zero Aura. Now let's see where Zero Aura was at. Zero Aura was 4, just because a lot of people recognize the speed tier of this mon, and it's great coverage, um, and just a lot of moves that it can have access to. So a lot of people just straight up wanted to use this thing, spam Zero Aura a lot. It got CC as well, like just a lot of coverage moves that everyone just loved, and just it could take care of pretty much anything. It's just a great mod to just slap on your team and like immediately become a threat. So yeah, Zero Aura was barring like 30% usage, but it has gone down to 26, mainly because been a lot more answers. Like a lot of people have now looked to checking Zero Aura, as well as myself. I used like for a while I've been using what's it called, Venusaur, just to wall things like Zero Aura, Fizz Def, Venusaur, and just other techs, just to wall this thing, because this thing, it really is a problem. It can really sweep through teams unboosted, on top of that, so that's kind of crazy. So yeah, Zero Aura is definitely a mon that you can have to keep in mind when you're team building. But in terms of using it as a defensive threat, it's definitely very solid. As you can see, out of the 3, it's like, along with Drago Pole, it's the only offensive top 5. Everything else is kind of like utility. So yeah, so that's it for Zero Aura. Pretty much in the same spot as last month. So number 6, let's compare what 6 was. Yep, 6 with Extra still. So yeah, let's just talk about Extra real quick. I do want to speed through most of these. I kind of want to get most of these as well done. Just talk about them briefly. But Excadrill, right off the bat, what I'm thinking is on sand with paired with Hippo, because I do have a sand team that I be using a lot, and it's adamant, specifically adamant sand rush with Excadrill. Man, this thing's crazy. The sand rush ability, I feel like, is only gonna get better with this mon once people start spamming it, or once a lot of things get sand rushed like Dracovish. So on top of that, Excadrill is just the perfect sand abuser, in my opinion. It hits really hard, and it's easily sweeps through teams, breaks through things like Ferrothorn, with just like one boost maybe, if you're like adamant life, or if you really want to stack on the damage. But yeah, Excadrill is great. Can be a lead. Mold Breaker is great as well for Rotom Heat. Another mon that I'll be talking about very soon. But yeah, just a great mon in general, and it's only going to be going up from here, I feel like. So yeah, that's Excadrill for you. So Ferrothorn. Now, I can see why this has gone up as well. For a while, Melmetal was in the tier, and Double Iron Bash. When you use that move, it takes twice from Rocky Helmet and from Iron Barb. So I feel like that was a reason why Ferrothorn's so high up, as well as being a check to Dracovish. Not really a check, but if you have Rocky Helmet on it, which I do use, it gets a lot of chip on Dracovish, so it just evens out the damage you're taking to the damage you're putting out, which is great. And it gets a lot of great moves, T-Wave, dual hazards as well, Um, gets knock, it gets gyro ball, minus speed nature, just runs through clef, stuff like that. So yeah, really a great wall, great pivot, if I do say so myself. So yeah, Ferrothorn, 22%. Let's look at the statistics. See, Pharaoh was 12. Like a lot of these things jumped up, as you can see here. Um, so number 8, Dracovish. Now, this is very expected, but what do you want me to say about this, man? It's like I can't really say too much about this mon because it's literally a move. Like I don't know. A lot of people are talking about suspect testing this thing, which I completely understand completely. But yeah, this thing is literally a move. I'm struggling to come out come up with like something of importance to say about Dracovish other than that it gets Fish's Rend, and that's kind of crazy. And the only reason why you should be bringing Toad or any other water absorb is for this mon in particular. So yeah, not much I can say. Like, comment down below if you have anything else to say about Dracovish. I will say though, when it gets Sand Rush, that's gonna be a problem, definitely. Like, I'm a big fan of Sand already, so when this thing gets Sand Rush, oh man, ban Dracovish about to be insane. But yeah, definitely I can see a suspect test coming from this. So, and where was it at previously? Yeah, it was 13, so it jumped a lot in a month. So number 9, we have Aegislash. Now, Aegislash was in 5, as we can see here. With Aegislash, I feel like it's just really tricky with this mon, because as you can see, I love using this mon. But even with me using it, it's just very tricky to pull off. And deciding on the set you want to use is just very awkward. It's like, do I want to use Band? Do I want to use Weakness Policy, Autotomize? Like, how Glass Cannon do you want this thing to be? But I will say the great thing about this mon is a powerful priority move in Sneak. And I'm a big fan of SD, honestly. SD on Aegislash with CC and stuff like that, with just coverage moves. But yeah, Aegislash struggling to find a place. Well, it's not struggling because it's in the top 10, but from comparing from March to April, definitely could be going down even more. With the rise of new mons. So we'll see where this is. I'm gonna keep an eye on Aegislash, and I feel like you guys should too. So yeah. So number 10, we have Rotom Heat. Now I'm very curious as to where it was before. Oh, it was 15. Dude, I think Rotom Heat is one of the best mons in this gen, in general. Better than Rotom Wash, which is very, very unfortunate, as we saw Rotom Wash go to UU. RIP, man. Rip, rip. But Rotom Heat, now this thing has increased in usage solely because the fact it's like it basically filled in the role for Rotom Wash, but it just got even better with the new ones that came out, right? Like Korbinite, it checks Korbinite pretty well, checks CLEFABLE. I feel like CLEFABLE can't really touch you, so that's like a free nasty plot if you're running the plot version. What else? What else? It gets Dark Pulse for Drago Pole. Um, like I don't know, like Zeraora can't really touch it. I feel like I don't know. Like a lot of these matchups aren't that bad for it. Like against Moldbreaker Extra, it's really bad, but uh, against like Sandrush Extra, it walls like straight up. Pharaoh destroys Pharaoh, destroys Aegislash in a sense. So yeah, like Rotom Heat is a Firemon in my opinion. uh, the usage going up, and I feel like it can only go up from here. Like Rotom Heat is just one of the best Rotoms in the game at the moment, which is very funny to me. I can't believe it like outdid Rotom Wash like that. So, but yeah, that's it for the top 10. So let's just breeze through the rest here. I don't know how long this video is, but I'm gonna try to make it as brief as possible just to show you guys. So number 11, Hydreigon. Hydreigon to me is premier Scarfer in the game. Has a lot of niche sets, very great on webs, I feel like, with the plot version. But I feel like Scarf is its best set with all the usual coverage. So yeah, that's Hydreigon for you. Let's see where it was at. Yeah, it was 9, so that's kind of crazy. Like a lot of these mons, like the top 10, aren't even on the top 10 anymore. They have just fallen. So yeah, Bisharp, Bisharp was in the top 10 as well. I feel like this thing kind of hindrance because of its speed. It's obviously very, very strong. with Sucker and Knock, and the usual stab with SD is really all you need. But I don't know, with this mon I feel like it could be higher. You just gotta play it really perfectly with Sucker, and don't forget defog boosts your attack as well. So on webs it's really nice as well when if your opponent wants to try to get that defogger in. But yeah, Bisharp, one set, not too much of variance with it, and I can see why it's fallen down. Hippo. Now I'm curious to see where Hippo has been. Is it even? Yeah, it's on 16, and like I said, with the rise of sand, it can only go up, and with things like Dracovish, Dracozolt getting Sand Rush, yeah, it can only get even higher from here. So yeah, great time for Hippo right now. Pex used to be in the top 10. I can see why it's falling off as well. Let's look here. Excadrill blows through it, like a lot of things, like Rotom Heat blows through it. Zera does too. Like I don't know. This thing's a great wall for sure though. If you pair it with the perfect or the right core, at least the right defensive core. But I feel like there's just better walls with this. Doesn't really check Dracovish that much, anyways. Como was top 10. I can see why now. How it's fallen. It's kind of like Aegislash to me. How like it struggles to find a place in here. I feel like its best set is defensively. Rocks defensively invested with like rocks and body press and stuff like that. And yeah, like belly drum with Slack and stuff like that is just just hard to pull off. But it can be done definitely. I don't really see a reason running it though. Conk 16. Yeah, a problem with a lot of these rankings is don't forget they're just usage stats, right? So just because they're like in a certain spot doesn't mean they're, let's say, like not usable or bad, right? Because like no one would think Conk or Kyurem is a bad mon. It's just the usage stats, what people like to use at the moment. So yeah, Conk definitely one of those mons where the numbers lie, because being 16 doesn't really reflect on how good this mon is. This mon is a oh my god, this mon is a beast. This mon is a demon, absolute monster in the metagame. But I can see why it's not used that much. It's not that hard to prepare for. It has only one set that I know of, or that is really just used. Like obviously Assault Vest is a thing, which I've seen, but I'm like, why? You know, every time I knock and then I see that it has Assault Vest, I'm just like, bro, what? But yeah, 16 Conk, solid spot. Where was it before? 17, so pretty much the same spot. Kyurem, let's see where Kyurem was at. I'm curious. Kyurem was 14, now it's what? 17? Yeah, like Specs being its best set, but it kind of hinders it from the fact you can't switch moves. I see why. But this thing is still a demon, especially special attack wise. So yeah, Kyurem at 17. Mandibuzz, another great defensive bird. A solid defogger as well. I would say it's let's see the other defoggers in the meta. Yeah, it's literally only Korbinite, Mandibuzz, and maybe like even Rotom. Like I forgot to mention that Rotom gets defog as well as Conk. A lot of these things you can tech to be a defogger. But yeah, Mandibuzz great. Foul play set with utility and defog. 18. Very great. 19. Melmetal, this was banned. They made a decision, but for the time being, it was so beast. It was crazy. I loved spamming this thing, but yeah, only for a short time. It's Ubers now too as well, which is kind of wild that it's even up on this list. But yeah, that's it about Melmetal. Like not much to say about it. Yeah, it wasn't in here for that long. Cinderace, 20. Where was it at? Cinderace was 18. Okay. So yeah, Cinderace. Like we're just waiting for Libero. I feel like. I messed around with Band. But I feel like Court Change is best. It's just a great move in general. So yeah, I feel like I can't really talk about the rest of these mons. Like as you can see for yourself, like Cloyster, a lot of threats like Halucha, they're very